So next one is, I don't have any motivation to pursue goals since every successful person, including you guys, tells me it won't make me happy. Chasing money, girls, or a dream and achieving it will give you a dopamine spike for a second, but that's it. After that, you feel exactly the same way you felt before. That's what everyone says.
Yep.
Apparently, the way to true happiness is just being content in the present. I know that and can logically understand it, but as of right now, just being with myself with all that spiritual clarity and anti-materialism also doesn't make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Is the chasing dreams stage just not something you can skip? It feels like a waste of time knowing what's ahead. I also don't have anything I genuinely enjoy or would like to pursue out of pure fun. And on a side note, I'm pretty sure I'm not clinically depressed or anything like that. I'm not sad or lonely. I still experience every emotion a normal guy would have. I'm just bored to death with life, and I don't want to fall into nihilism. Or maybe all that is just an excuse to be lazy and just watch Netflix all day. I really don't know anymore. I'm about to travel the world in 2 weeks as a last resort, with the first stop being France. Hope you guys got some advice.
Well, it's interesting from my perspective because I think it's not a bad takeaway to say, well, you guys and every other rich person says, oh, money doesn't make you happy. Sleeping with 1,000 women, that's not, it all empty. Ultimately, it's feels hollow, or it's like eating candy or whatever. So because of you guys, I'm not going to pursue it. But then the subsequent thought I would have thought is like, because all of you at the end of the day talk about how it's about this peace and contentment and such, so I've started a 2-hour-a-day meditation practice or started doing psychedelics, or like, I actually personally think you can pursue either mountain because it sounds like you haven't done either one yet. So I genuinely think there's value in going out, trying to conquer the world and become charismatic and make a bunch of money and make your dating life incredible and build a bunch of great friends. And it's fun. And also I think it's not all hollow. Like I do think your relationships and a certain quality of life are additive, even in the face of hedonic adaptation. Or if you're saying I'm going to skip the first mountain to climb the second mountain, that's different than just skipping the first mountain. And so it's like, okay, if you are going to try to live a enlightened monk's life of austerity but contentment, there is work that goes into that for most people, unless you have a Eckhart Tolle just random moment of enlightenment sitting on a bench. It's all the meditation and monk training that goes into that. I think that's why people like Jay Shetty go to monasteries for 3 years. So you pursue either mountain. I think neither will lead you astray, but
well, they can, but
based on this question for this person, I think, both can lead you astray. That's fair. But yeah, I think to pursue neither mountain and you're currently dissatisfied with that path, I would say that's not the prescription. Like I'd only say, if you said I'm pursuing neither mountain, but I'm just extremely happy and content and I feel like I've already reached enlightenment, it's like, okay, maybe you got that Eckhart Tolle sitting on a bridge or a bench moment. But yeah, if you don't like where you're currently at, pursue one of the mountains.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Well, tough to give advice on this because my most recent experience was just it's all good.
Well, you did psychedelics. That's pursuing the second mountain. You
sure.
went and sat.
well, I guess so. It wasn't just that. It was. I don't want to talk too much about that as regards this, but the one thing it was also a recognition like whatever you're doing is going to take you where you're going. So your boredom is going to take you there just as fast as your activity is.
Yeah, some people, which you could in an enlightened state, you'd say that's okay too. Mm-hmm. Some people's path has been laden with boredom and unhappiness, and looks like it's going to continue to be a life of boredom and unhappiness. Yeah. And you can respond by saying, well, that's okay. There's nothing inherently spiritually superior between happiness and unhappiness. But if someone's living it and going, I'm not really enjoying this, then I would say,
mix it up.
Pursue happiness in that case. You've also done a lot of work in the first mountain. Did this person say their age?
No.
They could be early 20s and having not yet tried to do self-improvement or do, anything. Maybe they could just graduated college recently.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit different than being 34 and having done 100%. All the previous work.
Totally different. Yeah. One of the mistakes that I think I make and a lot of people make is they're like, well, if it's not valuable in the final analysis, then it's not valuable today. And that's kind of like being like, the things I learned in first grade aren't deeply true, or the way that they taught me physics in 11th grade with no friction is not true, so it was useless. It's like, no. Like, first grade is great. It's foundational. Like 11th grade is great. It's all there. So if you're in, wherever you are, you're going, oh, all these rich people told me that these pursuits weren't going to make me happy. I'm not saying that you have to do it, but if there's part of you that's like curious, it's like, go ahead and try to get big and strong or make money or
it sounds like this person has no curiosity or drive to do anything. Am I reading this right? Like they don't want to get money, they don't want to sleep with women, but also they aren't necessarily pursuing like increased meditative enlightenment. They're just kind of
then I suppose
chilling,
find
and they fear
something
nihilism.
that stands on its own. So like for you, that's surfing. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to get better at surfing for surfing to be valuable to you. For some people, it's playing music or listening to music. Maybe the travel will spark something inside of you. You're saying you just feel kind of bored right now.
No zest for life.
Yes. What I would advise you is to sign up, and you did with this travel thing. It doesn't need to be the last one, but it for a number of activities that you've heard people say are valuable in and of themselves. And so common ones are like surfing, music, dancing, art. Some people even just like business. Some people like relationships with other people. Some people like trying to have sex. Some people, I don't think that one lasts for a very long time, but
I pursued it for its joy in the moment at the time.
Yeah. But, and give them a try and see if any of those shake the boredom and you find valuable in and of themselves. And so I think it's really good that you have this trip coming up because it's going to give you an opportunity to try a bunch of different things. And you'll probably find a bunch of things you hate, like maybe even French food, all that bread.
Definitely English food.
Yeah. But that would be my recommendation.
What do you do in general if you're like just apathies, you're just apathies your go-to and it's not a pleasant experience for you?
It's tough, man, because I love apathy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Imagine that it's not. Like imagine you.
It's tough. It's really tough for me to sink into because I've cared too much. And so apathy is a relief oftentimes for me.
I know. That's why I'm saying, I feel like sometimes that's the place that people come from. That's foreign to you, but that happens, which is like, I wish I did.
Anything.
I wish I cared. I wish I cared about something. I wish I did more.
Well, I'll tell you what,
wish there was
that's
something.
often, I think, not to sell it, I think emotional mastery I've seen has affected people in this particular one. It didn't really do it for me. But apathy is often a guard against intense feeling, like because the feelings
or
are
a failure or not being good enough.
Exactly, because the fear is so overwhelming, I don't give a shit. Because it makes me feel so good, I don't give a shit. Because it makes me feel so nervous or whatever, I don't care. So some of the meditations in week 2 of emotional mastery are very helpful, I think. There's particularly an apathy meditation. And in those cases, I do think some sort of inner exploration because I no longer believe that there are untraumatized, negatively apathetic people. I think you might have like monks who appear apathetic, but in like a pleasant way. But when there's that just dullness, I'm like, that's a lowering of the volume on life.
No, I agree. That's what I wanted to bring it up is I think that for you or I who were so achievement focused for so long,
to not give a shit is like such a sigh of relief. Yeah.
Yes. But then there's the person, there's just a lot of the flip side of where we've gotten to that I think like apathy in a way that is destructive.
Negative,
or we're like, oh yeah, now we play video games. Cause for a decade I didn't read a book unless it was self-improvement and I didn't do an activity unless it was going to make tomorrow's Ben better than yesterday's Ben. And so it's like the ability to play video games for 3 hours is such a stark difference from doing that for a decade. But then you do get, when I was doing a video on video game addiction, I didn't end up making it. You get guys who are, I was addicted in high school. I broke the addiction. I managed to get into a community college and then I got sucked back in and I play 16 hours a day. I literally would blow off family dinner to do it. I have no friends. Friends would come over and they would try to talk to me, but I would not look away from the computer screen. And so I lost all my friends and now I'm broke. My parents just kicked me out of the house because they got tired of paying for the internet. I'm homeless and I'm a video game addict. It's like, oh yeah, there is this other end of the spectrum where it's not just, hey, if you like video games because they're fun, fucking play them as much as you want. It's like, that's good advice for you, Charlie Houpert, but there is just a destructive.
I think explore the apathy then. And so the kind of the exercise is, which you can do on your own or you can join the course, but it's just a guided meditation in this particular case is what does apathy feel like inside of you? And it takes time to actually notice it. And it might feel like an emptiness. It might feel like a pain in a particular area. And you allow that by noticing the sensation or the thoughts that arise, you kind of allow them to continue to play. So what apathy can sometimes be is it's a pause or a mute on a negative feeling. And that emptiness might be fucking horrible. And on the other side of that, if you were to go into it, you might just burst into tears at how many things you're upset about, So this meditation, in allowing you to sink into the feeling, allow it to evolve, move inside of you, you feel the emptiness shift, you feel like now have thoughts in your head or something somebody say to you, you'll never amount to anything, and you hear echoes. The guided meditation takes you through that, but you can start to do it yourself. So you feel the apathy, feel the sensations, thoughts, sounds, images that arise, be with them, hang out with them, see if they move. And then if you feel stuck, you can say, when have I felt this particular sensation before? So it might be like a pain in your heart. When have I felt this earlier in my life? And you can continue to do that all the way back to, when was the first time, and see what comes up. And oftentimes what apathy is it's like a jam. Like all emotions can be like a jam in the flow, and this can unlock it. And then you're dealing with sadness, which is an improvement, you know what I mean? Or longing or frustration or anger. But all of a sudden you've got that like vitality is coming back to you. There's things that you hate, there's things that you like, and you'll maybe even have more of a direction from it. So that's, I think, an approach that can be helpful. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.